and I just got one more thing to say. How about them Cowboys?
What's going on, Cowboy Nation and Angry Cowboy fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan, back with another video on our Dallas Cowboys. So, if you want to help the channel out tremendously, hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. As all of us Dallas Cowboy fans have seen, Dak Prescott was caught up with at a charity event, and the media got to ask him a few questions about his contract negotiations and what he thought about what Jerry meant when he used the phrase all in. I'm not going to replay the clip for y'all, but I am going to get into what Chris Broussard and Nick Wright felt about the interview. On First Things First, Chris Broussard and Nick Wright went back and forth with Dak Prescott's interview and the culture of the Dallas Cowboys, or lack thereof. So, let's get into the first of two clips that I got for y'all. We're going to start out with Chris Broussard's clip, then we're going to go to Nick Wright's clip, and end with my raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen.
But this makes me want to pull out the tomato cans, the F cards, all of that.
Why?
Because the culture is the problem. What was the culture of the Patriots under Belichick?
Do your job.
Work. Do your job.
Yeah.
What's the culture of the Chiefs? I think it's fun and confidence.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Right? I mean, right? The culture of the Niners.
Fun and bravado. Yeah.
Intelligent play.
Overcoming
tough.
mediocre.
But all of those teams, the culture is what? Based on what?
The play.
Football.
Okay, sure.
Football. The Cowboys' culture is drama. That's their culture, because drama sells. And that's what Jerry Jones, for all, as much as he wants to win the Super Bowl, of course, he wants to win the Super Bowl. But what he wants more is the Cowboys on the talk shows, the jerseys selling, our guys out there, and we're the talk of the league.
Now,
that's
folks
what he
tomato
wants.
cans on the
Yeah, he probably don't mind that because it sells. All right, until their culture becomes one of football. We are a football franchise. We're not a soap opera. We're not, just entertainment. We're not Hard Knocks on HBO all season. Until they do that, they're not going to win big.
Chris Broussard is absolutely right. It's the culture of the team. The funny thing is, Jerry doesn't know what the culture of the team is because Jerry Jones doesn't know what culture means to begin with. As a matter of fact, there are two separate cultures in the Cowboys organization, but I'll get into that in my raw and uncut, so make sure you stick around for that. In the meantime, I'm going to give y'all my second clip. With every antagonist in a story, we also have to have a protagonist, a good cop and a bad cop. In comes Nick Wright to try and make sense of it all. Take it away, Nick Wright.
What's Dak supposed to do? What's Dak supposed to do? Because does Dak have a boss? If he does, it's really not Mike McCarthy as much as it's Jerry Jones.
Right.
And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. When you're talking the culture, you might have questions about Dak in big games, Dak in the playoffs, whatever. You don't think Dak's a part of the problem culture-wise. I would argue, or I shouldn't say you don't, I don't. I think Dak's part of the solution culture.
Here's what I'll say to you, though. Remember, was it DeMarcus Lawrence that came out and said we were exhausted by the time the playoff against Green Bay?
Okay.
Remember,
sure.
he said he was saying, not physically, I don't believe, emotionally. They were burnt out. Because for 17 weeks and beyond, it's so much pressure on the Cowboys.
Right, I agree with all that.
Because Jerry creates the pressure.
That's my point, though. My point is, Dak is answering for it, and I think Dak instills a pretty positive culture from his leadership standpoint, what he can control.
That's right.
I don't think Dak isn't the one doing the podcast, right? Dak is doing nothing wrong off the field.
Yeah.
That was literally, I think a kid's cancer thing or some charity thing. I think Dak does He's almost a boring quote most of the time, like Mahomes is. I'm not going to give you any headlines. Right.
In that regard.
And so I guess the point I'm making is I think you can be correct, and I also empathize for Dak in this spot. Because here's what Dak can't do. Tell Jerry to change.
Didn't D-Law say his legs were burnt out as well? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. He asked the primo question right there. What is Dak supposed to do? Dak Prescott is the ultimate professional when it comes to representing the Dallas Cowboys. You can visibly see this in his demeanor and his presence during that interview. You can see his leadership and the way he carries himself. Like all the talking heads say, we love his intangibles. And I feel those intangibles radiate in the locker room. The locker room having one culture and the front office having another. Y'all ready for my raw and uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Like I stated before, from the outside looking in, there are two cultures in the Dallas Cowboys organization. A culture for the players in the locker room and a culture for the owners. The players go out there every Sunday and play the game of football with a championship in mind. They go out there every game and aim to play their best football. The coaches go out there with their best schemes. Whether it results in a win or not, that's a different story. They have that championship attitude and that want to win a Super Bowl, but I don't think the front office reciprocates those feelings. They'll say they want another Super Bowl, but do nothing to work toward that want. From my eye test, the owner's culture is that of greed, profiting, money. The more the Cowboys are in the news and being talked about, the more revenue is being dumped in. They don't spend money on great players, but rather spend less money and say that they tried. Their culture is to remain the most profitable sports organization in the world, the most popular sports team in sports. Those two cultures are clashing right before our eyes every single NFL season. When a coach tries to implement a culture that eclipses Jerry's, he gets fired, even if he won a Super Bowl the previous year. When that star starts to outshine Jerry's star, it's deuces. I've heard a lot of Cowboys Nation talk about getting a coach in there that would make things tougher on the players. If you continuously mess up, that's your job. Well, Jerry carries that same demeanor when it comes to his coaching staff. Yes men, a bunch of omega males to his alpha male. The coaches have no autonomy over their own personnel and don't have control over who they get. They may have a voice in the draft room, but will eventually have to roll with the punches. Remember the T.O. situation? The players' desires need to align with the organization and vice versa. They all have to be on the same page. If the players on your team are going to give 1,000%, then the owners should give that 1,000% in return. These two cultures need to become one. Jerry, you can have the media talking about you if you win another Super Bowl. You can be on the tip of everybody's tongue if you can win another Super Bowl. You can be the most profitable sports organization by winning a Super Bowl. You don't have to do what you guys have done since you bought the Cowboys. You don't have to be jealous of anyone outshining you if you win another Super Bowl. I understand that business is business, and I wouldn't care if you had a podcast or if you were on every talk show every single day of the week if the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. I wouldn't give a damn, but these two cultures need to either compromise or one needs to cancel out the other. But we all know which one's going to cancel out which. Jerry has to realize that the Dallas Cowboys can get the attention that he craves if they win another Super Bowl. Your mortal clock is ticking, Jerry. You may have to go all in if you want to see another Super Bowl in your lifetime. This has been your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan. What do you think the culture of the Dallas Cowboy organization is? Do you think that there is actually a culture problem to begin with? Let's have that conversation in the comment section. If you're digging the content and you want to help me get this channel out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, hit that like button. It really helps us break out into the algorithm. If you really like the content and want to become a member of the ACF family, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you can stay notified whenever I go live or whenever I release a video. One day, the Dallas Cowboys are going to make it back to the Super Bowl. I truly hope Jerry Jones is still here with us to celebrate it. This has been your boy, the Angry Cowboys Fan. and I'm out.